Hi, this is Erling with Travel Trail Sail. Today we're doing a little maintenance and some upgrades on our Arvika bike rack. We've had an Arvika bike rack on our travel trailer for over 11 years, and we really like it. It's so nice to be able to bring bicycles with us when we go camping. If you want to see why we like it, you can check out our video that we have that's a full review of the Arvika bike rack. But today what we're going to do is a little bit of maintenance and some upgrades to make sure that it's good to go for this camping season. After 11 years, it did show a few signs of wear. And so I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance today on the bike rack. And the other thing we're going to do is Arvika actually has a new clamp system that they have introduced to their bike racks, and they were nice enough to send along a set of new clamps for our rack so that we could give them a try, and I'm really excited to do that, so thank you Arvika for sending those along. Now they did also send a bag of some other parts and some new security straps, so we're going to do some change out some of the parts and make sure that the bike rack is all good for this camping season. For our project today, the steps we're going to do are to replace the clamps, take the old ones off and put the new ones on, and then we're going to replace some of the bolts that hold the trays on, and then finally we're going to do a little touch-up paint. The support base that the rack sits on had a few areas where the paint had started to wear off, and so I'm going to touch that up with a little bit of Rust-Oleum. So that's the steps in our project today. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do is loosen this bolt and slide it out so that I can raise the rack up, and that'll make it a little easier for me to get a ladder in to replace those clamp bars. Put that on there so we don't lose it. And start with the longest one. You may need to use some WD-40 or something similar to loosen the bolts. They've been on there for 11 years. And once we get the bolt out, should be able to just slide that plastic off. The clamp bars hold on to the rack by a U-shaped piece of plastic. A bolt goes through that, and once you loosen that up, that can open and come off. Let's go ahead and compare the old bars to the new ones. Look at that clamp system. It's completely different. The old one was nice. Let me open it up a little bit so you can see, but it had metal reinforcement and a piece of plastic that held it together, but it was pretty simple. The new one is almost more of a large plastic with a little rubber on it, and it has a spring load on it. So much more substantial looking. So this is a different setup. There's one long bolt. It goes through the tube, the U-shaped connector, the tube, and on the other end will be the clamp that'll hold the bike rack on. So one super long bolt, and we're going to go ahead and take all of that off so we can put that onto the rack. Okay, we've got the bolt on. Next comes the clamp. Handle to turn on here. In the bag of parts that Arvika sent were some new end caps, and they actually go right on the end of each tray, and a couple of new, these go on the trays and help, they ride up against the tire to keep the bike from moving too much, so two new ones of those, as well as some new bolts and nuts, and those will just replace some of the ones that are a little rusty that are holding the trays on right now. These bolts have been on here for 11 years and they're a little rusty, so I might just need a little WD-40 or something to kind of loosen them up, but I'm going to do my best to take these bolts off and get them replaced. Got my ratchet on. Let's give this a try and see if they come loose without the WD-40. Ooh, it's turning. There we go. I'm kind of surprised. They're a little rusty and they are coming right off anyway. The same U-shaped type of plastic that holds on the clamp arms. So that bolt will just come right through. And we'll slide it out and put in a new one. Our bike rack maintenance and upgrades are complete. It's looking good. Thanks again to Arvika for sending the upgraded clamp bars and some other parts. We were able to upgrade our clamp bars, change out some of the bolts that hold the trays on, add on new end caps, and overall it's looking great. Then I did a little touch-up paint, and we should be good for a couple more seasons. Thanks for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again real soon.